it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos it's because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and get that push by surround yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and powerful mindset you need to adopt today if you want success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, have an infinite mindset.
Having an infinite mindset comes from you wanting people to win more than you want them to win with you. You want people to win around you, your friends, your family, your team, your customers, the people you interact with. You want them to win as people in their life, in their goals, whatever they want to accomplish. You want them to win more than you want them to win with you. If you can start to adopt that mindset, it really starts to shift how you see your relationships, how you see your business, how you see the people on your team. And it allows so much more positive energy to flow in the right direction for everybody to accomplish their goals. So, quick example. I made a bunch of videos on Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is one of the first people that, he was, I guess, the first big person who kind of recognized the work that I was doing. And he put the video I made on him on his homepage on YouTube and got a lot more views. And we made more videos on Tony Robbins. Tony then invites me to go to his event. We did a couple interviews together. He invites me to go and puts me in, the awesome seating right up front. And I got a lot of people coming up to say, hey, Evan, they recognize me. I'm also wearing the hoodie. Not that I'm a celebrity, but in that kind of world, people would recognize me. And they said, you introduced me to Tony Robbins. That they found out about Tony Robbins or Simon Sinek or Tom Bilyeu or whoever through the content that I'm putting up. And I had a few people who said, hey, I found out about Tony Robbins from you, and I haven't actually gone back and watched your videos in a while because I've been so deep in Tony Robbins land. And now I'm here at this event and paid thousands of dollars to be here learning from Tony. And I don't watch your channel anymore, but thank you for introducing me to Tony Robbins because that's what I watch now. I'm pumped. I'm excited. It's like, that's amazing. Thank you for telling me. Now, would I love for them to be with me forever? Yes, of course, absolutely. But I'm more happy that you're off winning. If you watch this video and you learn from Simon Sinek and you've never heard of him before, you have, and you want to dive deeper, and then you go and you buy all his books and you subscribe to him on YouTube and you dive deep into his world and you don't come back and watch another video of mine for another 12 months, I'm pumped for you. I want you to win as a human, as an entrepreneur, more than I want you to subscribe to my channel and keep watching videos here. It's just a fundamental shift in how you see relationships. I look at the people on my team. I want them all to win as people more than win with me. And I see everybody that I'm working with as a parallel path. You and I right now, you're watching this video, we're on a parallel path. This is a parallel path that we're marching on together. And then at the end of this video, you're gonna go off and go do something else. And hopefully productive and empowering and impactful. You're gonna have a great day. Come on, let's go, Believe Nation. But you're gonna go off and do something else. You're gonna step out the Evan Carmichael path and go do something else. And maybe you come back on the path, or maybe you go way off and you never come back. But right now, you're watching this video, we're on a parallel path, you and I, together. I just want to maximize that time together. That while you're on a path with me, that you're going to become better. And that should be your goal with the people you're around, that we have these parallel paths that we're running together for a certain amount of time. And maybe that's 10 minutes in a conversation. Maybe that's a year of somebody working with you. Maybe that's 10 years. Maybe that's a life partner that's forever, right? But you're on these parallel paths. Your goal needs to be, while somebody's interacting with you in person, via email, through your content, they're with you, that they're a better person because of that interaction with you. If you can do that, if you can just change the way you see relationships to do that, to instead just think about yourself first and think about them first and helping them accomplish what they need to accomplish, even if it means leaving you. I've recommended people to courses and programs that are not my own. I've kicked people off of my team because I was going to hold them back. They wanted to stay here, but like, you need to go and do that thing. This is too safe and comfortable for you, and I can't give you the thing that you want. You have to leave and go do that thing and push them towards it. It makes a huge difference. Okay, so how do you do it? You start by being their chief goal officer. everybody who you come in contact with, be their chief goal officer. What that means is understand what is their most important goal in their life. What are they trying to accomplish? And then go out of your way to try to think about how you can help them. And maybe you can help them inside your business, inside your expertise, inside what you're really good at. Or maybe it's an introduction that you can make to somebody else. Or maybe it's just researching a little bit about what they care about to help them. A quick example, one of my instructors at Toronto Dance Salsa has Lyme disease. Also, one of the guys on my marketing team now has Lyme disease. But at the time, I knew nothing about Lyme. I didn't know what it was, didn't know what it caused, didn't know how you got it, didn't know anything about Lyme disease. But because she has it, I started learning about Lyme disease. I set up a Google News alert that anytime there was something about Lyme disease, I would get notified. And I started sharing things with her that she hadn't seen before. Started sharing that Avril Lavigne has Lyme disease and Shania Twain had Lyme disease, and they both took big breaks from their singing career because of the impact of Lyme disease. If there's new treatments or holistic healing or other people talking about it, then I would share it with them, and I would also educate myself in that process, to the point now where she has opened up her own Lyme disease holistic healing practice and doesn't teach at my school anymore. She's left the school to go launch this business, and I'm so excited for her. It's great. It's fantastic, right? We're on a parallel path, and now she's jumped off and done her own thing, which is amazing. Now, did I make her go launch that business? Of course not. Did I have a tiny little piece of inspiration or hope? Maybe. I'd like to think so. But when you can help people accomplish their goals, it does two things. One, it makes you feel good. You know how good it feels to help somebody, right? We're all built to serve. Where's the book right there? We're all built to serve. It makes you feel good to know that you help somebody. This is what we all want to wake up and feel like what we do matters, is meaningful. You are built to serve. And so when you can get out of your own selfish interests and go help that person accomplish what they want, it feels good. I get more joy from doing that than a business transaction, right? I get more joy from sending her something that she's like, oh my God, I didn't know that existed, than how many views I got on my video yesterday, right? It feels weird to know, great, we have 3 million subscribers on my main channel. I don't even know what that means. It's hard to even contemplate that. It doesn't feel like anything I can touch. But knowing that I helped one person with something is the thing that gets me excited. So it feels good. And the more you feel like you're doing things that matter, at least to one person, it gives you the motivation, energy to just keep going. Because a lot of times that's the thing that we struggle with, is we don't feel like what we do matters. It's not important. Then we lose motivation, then we stop, we quit, right? So you have to feel the connection to the work you're doing. The second thing I found though, and this was quite accidental, is that all this stuff ends up paying off. I've been in this game long enough now. I'm 41. I started doing content in speeches and then my website when I was 21. So it's been 20 years. I spent half my life. Wow. I spent half my life making videos, making content, trying to help entrepreneurs, half my life. And what's great about that, when you have some longevity, is you start to see the fruits of your labor. You start to see those seeds that you planted in other people, you start to see it pay off. Now, not for everybody. There's lots of people who I've helped, or I was their first episode on their podcast, and then maybe they didn't even launch the show, or they don't do anything with their goals. But when you see some people take off, they always try to find a way to pay it back. A great example is a guy named Nick who runs Book Thinkers. It's an Instagram account, an Instagram network of it's the largest Instagram network of nonfiction books. So if you care about nonfiction books and learning, go check out Book Thinkers and check out Nick. When I wrote Your One Word a bunch of years ago, I reached out to Nick and said, hey Nick, love what you're doing on Instagram. I'd love to send you a copy of my book or do some kind of collaboration. Let me know. And he didn't have a big account at the time. And I was the first author, brand name, whatever, to reach out and try to do something with him. And he said yes, and we did, a quick little thing. Fast forward 3 years later, I launched my second book, Built to Serve, which is great. And Nick had, in that time, built the largest network of Instagram accounts for nonfiction books. He went from just purely starting up and didn't have much to 3 years later having this giant network of accounts. And when Built to Serve came out, he wanted to help promote it. Where otherwise that would have been more of a challenge. That, hey, I've got this book, do you want to help and be a part of it? He was looking for ways to give back because of the help that I'd given him, right? And so I don't want you to think and be strategic to say, okay, if I help this person out, then in 3 years, they're going to help me out, right? If you're only thinking of what am I going to get from this, you've already lost. I'm just telling you that it's practical. I'm telling you that karma is practical. I'm telling you that giving love and helping people becomes practical if you do it enough. Jonathan Fields calls it maximum sustainable generosity. And I love how he said it, because you want to be generous as much as possible, but at some point it's not sustainable because you run out of time, you run out of effort, you run out of money. You can't just give everything because you need to sleep and you need to pay yourself and you need to run your business, you need to do your things. But what is the maximum sustainable generosity? Where the focus is just on helping people, on helping the people who are around you, being their chief goal officer, having the infinite mindset, wanting people to win more than wanting them to win with you. And by helping them accomplish their goals, great things will happen for you too. I promise. You just have to be around long enough to have it come back. Because some people next week will help you, and some people, it may take 2 years. But if you're committed to doing the thing that you're doing, I'm in this game forever. I want to help entrepreneurs forever. I've been doing it for half my life already now, and double my life again at 80, I'll still be doing this. It may not be YouTube, maybe we're VRing or hologramming into your living room or something, and we're filling virtual stadiums, I don't know. But I'll still be doing this when I'm 80. And if you found that thing that you love connecting with, that this is not just a short-term opportunity to try to make money this year or the next 3 months, but like this is your life's work and purpose, that you want to wake up every day and do something that's going to contribute to society and move it forward in some way, that you mattered to people because you showed up and did the difficult thing and shared your story and put your content out there and created a product or service that actually moved the needle for people. Like if that's what you want to do, then you have to adopt the infinite mindset. Then you have to be thinking long-term. Then you have to be trying to have maximum sustainable generosity, to be their chief goal officer. And at the bottom of all of it is wanting people to win as humans in their life more than you want them to win with you. Adopt that mindset and everything changes.
Rule number 2, change your perspective.
The difference between you hating and loving your life is perspective. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That negative situation that you're facing right now will define you. Either you succumb to it and you hate your life forever, or you rise above it and it becomes the greatest blessing of all time. The choice is yours, and I'm going to show you how to conquer it. So you may have noticed that I have this armband on, this really colorful armband. What's the story? I have this on as a reminder to stay in a beautiful state. It's a reminder to myself every day. Now, naturally, I'm pretty optimistic and happy and positive, and I've trained and worked on myself to be even more optimistic and happy and positive, and consume things that make me even more happy and optimistic and positive. But there's still some times that I feel negative. There's still some times that I'm not proud of myself. The classic example for me is when I get interrupted. If I'm working on something and I'm in the zone and I'm focused and I'm building momentum and somebody interrupts me, I can be really short. I can be really rude. I'm not gonna say anything offensive or something that I would regret, but I could be short and rude. And I wanna change that. I don't want anything to knock me out of my beautiful state. At least that's my ambition, that's my intention, that's my goal. If I can get closer to it, I'll be pumped. It's the perspective shift. And so part of my daily routine is I put this on. I don't sleep with this on. At night I'll take it off, and then part of my morning routine is I'll put this on, and it's a reminder as I put it on that I want to stay in a beautiful state today, that I might get interrupted, but I want to be proud of how I deal with it. And then I look at it every day. It's hard not to, right? It's not just some little tiny, wristband. It's giant. And it's colorful and it stands out, and it's a reminder every day as I'm typing, I see it there, I go, yeah, beautiful state, let's go. It also something that when I'm talking to people, they'll ask me about it because it's a conversation piece. Why am I doing it, right? People are curious, they want to know. And so every time somebody asks me about it, it's a chance to tell the story again. And in telling that story, even now as I'm telling this story, it reinforces for me, this is why I have it on. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so having some kind of trigger that brings it up, it really works for me. I think it could work for you as well. But there's a 3-step process that I follow that I'm gonna teach you that I hope helps. Step number 1 is understand that your purpose comes from your pain. This thing that you're struggling with, if it's overwhelming and all-consuming and really negative, is actually probably the greatest gift of all time. Like, your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled with the most in life will be the thing that you help people with for the rest of your life. I love helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. If I didn't struggle as much as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be doing something else. The thing that saved me from my business, from the worst day when I told my partner that I quit, the thing that saved me and kept me going was I modeled success. I looked at Bill Gates, how he started his company, because he was software, I was software. I learned from him and I started growing my company. That was when I was 20 years old. I'm almost 40, 20 years later now. What do I teach people? How to model success. For the past 20 years, I've helped how many people? I don't know, 300 million people plus have seen my content across my channels. That's a crazy number. All because I suffered when I was 19, 20 years old. Your purpose comes from your pain. The point of having that pain is not to just sit in that pain and say, woe is me, and complain about it and feel like your life is over. No, the point of that is to see, man, I suffered so much here. I want to stop suffering for other people. There's lots of people who are currently feeling like the way you used to feel. Think about who you were a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Think about the worst moment of your life, whenever that was. There's lots of people who are currently feeling like that, and you can help them. You can save them. That's your purpose. And doing that will lift you up for the rest of your life. It will never get old. Remember, your purpose comes from your pain. Step number 2 is have play bigger triggers. Play bigger triggers are things in your environment that remind you to step up into the world that you want to become a part of, that keep you from staying in the same zone you're in, that step up to the next level. And so I like having things in my environment. I encourage you to do so as well, because you might have the greatest day of all time, but you wake up tomorrow and it feels like you're starting over from scratch. You're starting over from the beginning. But when you set up your environment, it creates that trigger every day. Having Steve Jobs here and A.P. Giannini, my favorite entrepreneur, my parents, and Howard Schultz and Kanye West behind me, I set that up once, but it's a reminder every day when I walk into my office. I walk into my office, I'm looking at my computer, I'm working, I got Steve Jobs staring me down. Right, I got Steve Jobs looking at me. I got A.P. Giannini here. I walk in and these people are staring me down. They're looking. Evan, let's go. Let's go. Right? It's a reminder to me. And maybe that sounds crazy, but what is it for you? What's the thing for you? What's your play bigger trigger that you can set up once in your environment and then it happens every single day? This is a play bigger trigger, right? Why do I have this? It's a play bigger trigger to remind myself to live in a beautiful state every day. So if you're thinking about your physical environment is a great place, right? Your office, your bedroom, your car, like your physical environment. Where are you hanging out a lot in, and what can you put there as a reminder to play bigger every day? Your physical body, right? I wear this t-shirt. Look at this t-shirt, right? A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, but in her wings. Believe in yourself, right? I wear this. Like I wear my stuff for me. It's a reminder every day when I'm putting this on. And it's this shirt or the Rebel shirt or the Believe shirt. I've got a mannequin right behind the camera of my hoodie on a mannequin because I feel like I'm a superhero every time I put on the Believe clothing. And so when I saw Green Arrow, they had the mannequins wearing the outfits, and so I wanted to have it in mind. I'll show you. Look, let's make this quick because this thing is heavy. Look at this thing. This is giant. Huh. This is bigger than life size. Look, it's bigger than me. This thing is taller than me. And wow, it just hit me in the face. So I have this in my office, right behind the camera. And I look at it. I'm a superhero. What I do is superhero work. This is a reminder. It's a play bigger trigger. That thing is heavy. So, physical environment, right? What you wear on your body, right? And then also I think about your screen time. So what's on the background of your desktop computer? What's on the background of your cell phone? Things that you're looking at every day, that when you see it, it's a reminder, I need to step up. I need to play bigger. And that's different for everybody. Maybe the statue means nothing to you. certainly having a picture of my parents on your wall, means nothing to you. But if you can find the things that you set up once that make you feel like you come alive and put that in your environment and you look at it every day, it'll force you to think bigger. It'll pull you into a different level. Even though the rest of your environment, you can't control maybe where you're living or your community or a bunch of other stuff right now, but you can't control that. And if you do that, it'll pull you up. And then step number 3 is say it's the best. It's the best. This is what I do whenever I can't control the situation, whenever I'm stuck in something that I don't want to be a part of, then I say it's the best. And where this came from was I was on a long flight from BC to LA. I was speaking at an event. It's, 4 or 5 hour flight. And I was stuck next to this really smelly guy and I couldn't get off the plane because I'm going to miss my van. It's a sold out flight, so I got nowhere else to go. And I'm stuck next to this guy and he stank. And I'm sure he didn't want to stink, He probably just had a bunch of layovers and stopovers and still he stunk, right? And I'm complaining in my head for 8 to 15 seconds. And then I tell myself, this is the best because I'm stuck. What's my alternative? The alternative is to be unhappy for the next X number of hours as I fly to my speaking gig and then be bad on stage because I've just spent the last X number of hours being frustrated. So no, this is the best. And I turn and I breathe it in because that smelly guy is not stronger than me. And that's what I tell myself in my head. Like, this situation is not stronger than me. This situation is negative, toxic thing that you're involved in right now that you can't get out of. Long term, you're gonna break free. You're gonna get out. You're gonna do something different. But right now, you might be stuck. You may have no other choice. It's the best. It's the best. This thing is what you're most capable of. That's it. You can't handle anything more. I think this is just a warm up. And so that's what I tell myself. This is the best. This is just a warm up. I'm capable of way more. This smelly man does not own me. Let's go. It's the best.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger and motivation to, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Surround yourself with greatness. If you want to be more confident, you need to surround yourself with things that make you feel confident. And you have an overview of what your book is all about, and you write into them. There's usually a general email address so you can connect with them.
Rule number 3, don't tie your self-worth to winning.
You're afraid of experimenting because you tie your self-worth to winning instead of trying. If you base your self-worth off how much you win, then you're only going to try things that you have a good chance of winning at. Thus, you play small for life. But instead, if you base your self-worth on trying, on the effort that you're putting in, you will fail on most days, but you'll end up accomplishing more than you ever thought was possible. So every time I go to a YouTube event, I'm always being praised by my thumbnails. People always say, Evan's got the best thumbnails, go look at his thumbnails, model his thumbnails, use them as an example for the best practice. And I internally am always saying our thumbnails suck. We need to get better. Sure, we might be among the best, but we need to get better. We could be way better than we are right now. Why have we become the best? Because I'm experimenting constantly. Most of my tests do not work. I use a tool called TubeBuddy. Shout out TubeBuddy, huge fan. We've done over 1,100 split tests on our thumbnails, where we run one thumbnail against another and one against another and one against another, trying to beat our best. And most of the experiments don't work. They just don't work. I recently ran an experiment of, on my main channel, putting my face on the thumbnail with the YouTube white border against Tony Robbins. And it tanked. It was like 80% worse than our current thumbnail. And that's okay. People don't like my face next to Tony Robbins. That is okay. I'm fine with it. I expect to lose. I expect everything I do not to work. But I'm willing to test it to see. I just recently came up with one thumbnail design where I made the background purple instead of black. Purple instead of black. And it actually did better. It did significantly better. And so now I'm testing it out on 5 more thumbnails to see, does the purple one do better than the black one? If that works out, maybe I roll it out across the entire channel. But it's very rare that I find the win. Out of the 1,100 experiments that we've done, most of them will not work, will never work. Even from the beginning, I'm thinking this is probably not gonna work, but I'm willing to test. That's okay. Even if the most likely outcome is failure, it's worth the test to see. I think we've been conditioned so much that failing is bad, that when you fail, you suck and everybody ridicules you, and then that's the end. The people who have won the most have failed the most. Jeff Bezos has failed the most. He's tried so many things and most of them do not work out, and that's fine. People don't see the losses when you've got a couple wins under your belt. But how do you get to the wins? Through all the losses, right? Most people, they take one bet, they lose because you don't know what you're doing the first time out. You lose and then you never get back and do it again. You never get up and try again. You settle for a mediocre life because you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. You're not meant to be an expert. You can never make it. And you tell this story to yourself. You just failed once. That's all. You should suck at the beginning. Most things should fail at the beginning. If you start studying success, and I've studied more successful people than most people, you'll see that it's a history of losses and failures and defeats in the micro that then they learn from. And they find one thing that works, and then they push all their chips in and go all in on that thing. That's the only difference. They're not any more special than you. They just are more willing to experiment, to try, and to fail. Now I've got a 3-step process to help you experiment more and stop caring so much what other people think that I think will help. Step number 1 is expect to suck at the start. Just expect to suck. It's crazy how people expect to be great the first time out. The first thumbnail that you're gonna make is gonna suck. The first person that you hire on your team is gonna suck. Not because they suck, it's because you suck as a manager, as a trainer, as a leader in hiring. You suck, it's your fault. Look at most companies and look at the first 10 people that they hired. Big companies, those 10 people aren't around anymore. Because the entrepreneur founder sucked at hiring. You will hire the wrong person. It doesn't mean that you can never hire people or should always be a solo entrepreneur. You just don't have that skill set yet. Okay, awesome. The first video that you make will suck. Go back and watch my first videos. They all sucked. I was completely embarrassed by the first 350 public videos on my channel. Completely embarrassed. Could not watch them back, ever. Awesome, keep going. You're gonna step up to the free throw line and try to shoot a basketball. You're not gonna get it in the first time, you just won't. I think actually if you're great the first time out, then you actually suck. Like if you get on camera and you make your first video and you're great, you suck. You should have started 4 years ago. You should have started way before. You've waited too long. You're sleeping and sitting on your talent. So expect to suck. Expect the first thing to have 0 results. And you're just paying attention to, did you enjoy the process? I may have sucked at making videos at the beginning, but I liked it. I liked the process. And I slowly got better. And with time and effort and practice and patience, I got better. 6,000 videos later, here I am with my channel. And hopefully I continue to get better. But it's always because I expect to suck at the beginning. Step number 2 is watch your language. This is really important. You need to watch the language that you say, especially to yourself. You can ask other people to catch it for you, but you try to catch it yourself. Anytime you hear yourself saying hard, difficult, or scary, hard, difficult, or scary, let that be a trigger. It's a trigger. You're not allowed to say that anymore. That is not an acceptable reason for you not to do something. Why are you not gonna make a video? Because it's hard. Nope. Because it's difficult. Nope. Because it's scary. Nope. No. You do hard. You do difficult. You do scary. You love it. You want to do hard, difficult, and scary. What's the opposite? The opposite of hard, difficult, and scary is you do things that you are already good at, that are inside your comfort zone. Thus, you hate your life. If there's nothing in your calendar for the next week, next month that is hard, difficult, or scary, you hate your life. You're just photocopying the same day over and over and over and over again. You want something more. You know you're capable of something more. That's how it happens. And so it's a great little acid test. It's a great reminder that every time you hear yourself saying it, it's go time. You have to go do it. You have to, just because you said it. And have the people around you call you out on it too. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your friends, your family, your community, people around you. If you ever answer a question, I'm not gonna do it because it's hard, because it's difficult, or because it's scary, it's not an acceptable answer anymore. Because you do hard, you do difficult, and you love scary. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort. Applaud the effort regardless of the result. I had a recent podcast with my friend Mark Drager, and I asked him, Mark, I need you to celebrate a point where you were proud of your effort, but you didn't get a result. Because he's so tied to getting results, which is great. But if you only tie your self-worth to getting results, you're gonna take small bets. You're only gonna play inside your comfort zone, and thus you play small for life. So I said, when was the last time that you were so proud of your effort, even though you didn't get a result? And he couldn't think of something on the spot. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're not rewarding it enough. tie your self-worth to the effort. What have you done today, or what will you do today, this week, this month, that you're proud of the effort, even if the result is 0, even if the result is negative. You put up a video that you're working your face off to try to record and get out. You spend a whole day recording it, you finally get one, you post it, and everybody laughs at you. It's a negative result. Most people probably won't even care. But let's say you get a negative, awesome. I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for you. I use the example when people are afraid to ask me questions in workshops or seminars, and they finally come up and they do something, whether it's just asking a question or performing or making a video or singing or whatever their talents are, come up and do it. Come on up and do it. And they're nervous and they're shy. And a lot of these people have been sitting on this talent for 5, 10 years and they haven't expressed it yet because they've been too afraid. And I tell them, even if you come up and you just vomit all over the place, you vomit all over me, I am pumped for you because you tried, because you stood up and you tried. Because if you got up every day and did that and you tied your self-worth to your effort instead of the results there are terrible, right? Really negative. You vomited on somebody. It's pretty bad. But if you got up every day and were proud of your effort, you got up again and you did it again and again and again and again, I promise you, you'll get results. And way bigger results than if you just did things that kept you in your comfort zone.
Rule number 4, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Stop thinking that you should be fearless. If you go through life fearless, that means you are playing small and not doing anything that is worth doing. You should be dreaming big. You should be pushing boundaries. And in that push comes fear. Instead of trying to be fearless, adopt a mindset that you want to feel the fear and do it anyway. Otherwise, you will never take on big projects and you'll never accomplish your mission and you'll always live below the potential that you know you're capable of. So I just came back from speaking in Phoenix with Dean Graziosi, Brendan Burchard, Eric Thomas, 1,500 people, amazing session. My greatest fear is disappointing people. My greatest fear is I'm gonna get on stage and bomb and disappoint the people who are paying money to be there as an expensive ticket to get in. And also I'm gonna disappoint Dean Graziosi and Brendan Burchard and people who brought me here to speak, right? It's their event. And I have to be the last speaker on the last day to come in and give them a good performance, right? I don't want to let them down. We've never worked together before. These are the thoughts that are going through my head. And so I'm backstage. And actually the first day I get there, I've got the next day, right? I've got my whole day ahead of me and I'm gonna speak the next day. And then I get a call. So I'm in my hotel room and I'm practicing. I get a call and said, hey, Evan, can you come down right now? We might want to have you speak right now. Let's figure it out. And in my head, it's like, right now? I thought it was going on tomorrow. I was in the middle of practicing. I haven't even gone through the second half of my speech. But the default reaction is, yep, I'm on my way. And I run downstairs to get to the event. They end up saying, it's okay, we want you back on tomorrow, usual time. Perfect, no problem. So now I got the whole night to prepare again. Now I wake up the next morning and I'm preparing in the morning. And then I'm getting down to the stage. And initially it was supposed to go on at 9 a.m. And then it got switched to 10 a.m. Then that got switched to 11 a.m. And then they want to take off 10 minutes of my time because we're running a little bit behind. So I'm 15 minutes instead of 60 minutes. And then I'm changing my deck, changing the slide that I have. And then I'm sitting backstage and I'm waiting to come on, and it feels like the MC's, he's building me up and he's taking lots of time to introduce me, like, just bring me on, right? And every time I'm sitting there worried, stressed out, afraid, saying that it's hard, this is difficult. I'm afraid. My heart's beating out of my chest because I'm still thinking I don't want to go up there and disappoint people. But instead of being fearless, it's like, no, I'm afraid. And this is the best because everything I want is on the other side of this fear. And I'm going to go off and I'm going to do the best that I have. And every new thing that comes at me, they kept saying, man, you're so easy to work with. You're so easygoing. Yep. Meanwhile, like, I'm panicking and freaking out inside. And it's not about putting on a show. It's not about showing people that I'm afraid. It's about me telling myself that I do difficult things. Some people say when you are nervous, tell yourself that you're excited because it's the same feeling inside you that when you're about to go on stage or have a big call or do something that you're afraid to do, you're nervous, tell yourself you're excited. I don't want that. I tell myself I'm nervous. and I do things that make me nervous. I love that I do things that make me nervous. I build my self-esteem and self-respect and self-pride from jumping in on the things that make me nervous. You want to do things that make you nervous. And so I got on stage and did a pretty good job. We had a little miscommunication on the ending and flubbed it a little bit, but I get backstage and Brendan Burchard's running back like, oh my God, you crushed it. So much energy. I love that guy. And now I'm on to the next thing. And if there's nothing in my calendar ahead that is scary, difficult, hard, that makes me feel afraid, then I'm not growing. And you're not growing too. So I've got a 3-step process that I'm gonna walk you through that can help you step into your fears that I think will help. Step number 1 is understand what is your big mission. What are you trying to accomplish? What is the big mission that you're on? I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I want to spread more belief. I think the world's biggest problem is there aren't enough people who believe in themselves and their Michael Jordan level talent. That's what I'm helping every single day for the rest of my life. That is my mission. What is your big mission? What is the thing that you're afraid of doing? What is that giant thing? Right now, me stepping on stage at Brendan and Dean's event makes sense because I'm trying to spread my mission. What is your big mission? Number 2 is, what's the next step that you're afraid to take? If you want to go off and have a big impact, change a lot of lives, you're going to have to do things you've never done before. Because the way you're doing it now, the growth that you're on now is not fast enough. You're not going to hit your target. It's not going to happen. It's going to require a bolder, more confident, more courageous version of you. And how do you get that? By stepping into the light. By stepping into your nerves. By stepping into your fears. That's how you grow. That's how you emerge stronger. So what's the next step for you? Your big mission, you just came up with it. Step number 1, what's your big mission? Great. What is the next step that you must take to move that mission forward that you are afraid of? And then step number 3 is commit to doing it right now. Commit to doing it right now. You are not allowed anymore to think of something that's big, that's exciting, that is game-changing for you, that gets you pumped up and ready to go. You're not allowed to think of that and then be afraid and then not do something. You need to stop teaching yourself that you come up with ideas, then you get afraid, and then you don't have momentum, and you play small. You need to break that cycle. So we've just gone through it. You came up with your big mission. You came up with what the next step is. Now you need to commit to doing it. Commit to someone else that you're gonna do it. Make a video talking about it, send that email you need to send out, text the person that you need to text, post it to your Facebook or Instagram. Tell people that you're gonna do this thing. Commit while you're feeling it right now. And then feel your heart beating, boom, 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 boom. You're scared, you're gonna wake up tomorrow, it's like, holy cow, what did I just commit to doing? You're committed to doing the thing that you're a badass at because you're chasing down a dream, because you have a big vision, because you don't want to play small for the rest of your life, because you're ready for this. That's why you committed. Now let's go.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, trigger yourself for success.
The trick to getting yourself into action mode is to trigger yourself for success. Triggering yourself for success means you've taken the decision making out of it, that as soon as you come up with an idea, you have trained yourself by default into action mode. You see, your brain will always talk you down from things because it's trying to keep you safe and it only understands a world that currently exists that is logical and practical. Until you learn to trigger yourself for success, you will constantly doubt your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions. This video is gonna help. So today, I want to talk about this bag right here. A lot of you leave comments, the newer fans of the channel say, why is Doritos sponsoring your videos? Evan, why don't you have a healthier sponsor? Don't you know what bad Doritos does to your body? You should be promoting healthy living. Doritos is not a sponsor, guys. This is triggering me for success every single day. And this isn't just some tiny bag. It looks small looking back here, but let me bring this up. Look at that. This is right next to my face. Look at how big that bag of Doritos is. I have a strategy, and it's a weird strategy, so maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. I look at this bag. So I'm sitting, this is how I'm working, right? I'm not sitting, I'm standing. I'm standing on a trampoline. This is my workspace right now, right? I'm standing here, I'm working. In the corner of my eye, I got Steve Jobs up here, and I got this giant bag of Doritos. All I want to do is eat this bag all day long. I want to destroy this bag of Doritos. Look at that giant chip. Oh, I'm gonna start drooling soon. I love it. I want to eat that all day long. This bag is here as a reminder of how great I am. This is the mental conversation inside my head. Evan, you're awesome. You're awesome for not eating those Doritos every day. And I want it as a reminder. People say, doesn't it take a lot of willpower? No, it builds, for me at least, builds the willpower, builds my strength. Every time I see that bag of Doritos, makes me feel better about myself that I'm not eating it and I have the strength to keep going. And so why I have that here is when you're on a diet, right? This is how it began. When you're on a diet, your friends, your family, the experts will say, get rid of all the junk food from your house, get rid of it all, because otherwise you'll be tempted and then you're gonna eat it and then you're gonna ruin your diet. I think that is actually teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself, I'm a weird duck, you're teaching yourself that you are not strong enough to be around the thing, and so I need to get it out of my environment. The only way that I can stick to this thing is if this other stuff is nowhere close to me. I think you're telling yourself that you suck. I think it's a big crutch. And just like when you break your leg, you have a crutch. Your ultimate goal is to not have a crutch. It's to walk, it's to run, it's to be stronger than before, right? And so as a step one, maybe it's good, right? As a step one, okay, fine. You broke your leg, you have a crutch. You wanna get on a diet, you're addicted to junk food, get out of the house, awesome. But as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you go to New Year's, any kind of party, you're gonna destroy the food because you've trained yourself every day that you suck, that you're not capable. I think you're a genius. I think you're stronger than you think. And so I tested it first with myself and I thought, you know what? Doritos are my nemesis, right? I love Doritos. Oh my gosh, just looking at that bag. So I went to Costco and bought the giant size bag of Doritos. I said, I'm gonna put this on my desk all day long. Because damn the Doritos, because the Doritos are stronger than me? I don't think so, right? I'm Evan Carmichael. And same thing for you. That thing that is holding you, that's stronger than you? I don't think so. Remember who you are. Remember how strong you are. And that's what this is here for. And it's been awesome to see people now take this up. Friend of the channel, Liron, was trying to get off of sugar. And he has this coffee cup with a saucer and he drinks his morning coffee. And he put 2 packets of sugar on the saucer right next to the coffee. So he pours his coffee, has the sugar right next to it, and he just starts drinking it and puts it down and looks at the sugar packs and then just drinks the coffee again and puts it down, looks at the sugar packs, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And he's a little crazy too. You gotta be a little bit weird duck, but I think this is actually how you build your strength. Mark Drager, another friend of the channel, is addicted to the Peak Freens cookies. You know, the ones that have the red on the inside and the cream in the middle. Those are among my favorites too. And so his COO, when he heard this, went out and bought all these boxes of Peak Freens and put it on Mark's desk. And he opened it up. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around Doritos or something I really love to eat, not just say, oh, put that away from me. Don't be around me. I can't have that. And not just look at it. I want to smell it. So Mark took these cookies, brought it right up here. Peak Freen cookies, right up here. Oh, and you can just see the joy on his face just as he's bringing back memories and just what those cookies are gonna taste like when they enter his stomach, and just goodness everywhere, right? The smile on his face, maybe a little bit of drool coming out, you just, and then put the cookies down and walk away. And how great that makes you feel as a human to say, here's one of my biggest weaknesses of all time. Bring it. I own you. Put it down and walk away, right? I think that's how you actually build strength, by doing those difficult things, by triggering yourself for success. Every time I see the Doritos bag, I feel better about myself. I feel stronger about myself. And I want you to do the same thing. If any of you are gonna take on that kind of challenge, I wanna hear you, I wanna follow you, I wanna see how your journey is going, because it can be one of the biggest, most important life-changing decisions that you embark on. Most entrepreneurs don't charge enough. You're so worried about getting rejected or losing clients because of a higher price that you'll charge just enough so that you stay just above the survival line. That's not how winning businesses are built. If you can't break your survival mentality, you'll stay in survival mode forever. So the first brand deal that I ever got was for $500 from a major telecommunications company, and they wanted me to write for their website. And they hired me, they hired 9 other people to write an article, and they said, write 300 words, we'll pay you $500. And for me, $500 at the time, I thought, this is great. It's amazing, I got my first deal, $500, this is cash, I'm pumped. But more important, I'm getting a link from a huge company. And for anybody back in the old school SEO days, if you get linked from a big company, that can mean a lot for your business to take off for rankings. So I would have done it for free just for the link. So they gave me the $500, but I didn't just write the 300 words because I wanted to give more value. I wanted to get paid based off the value that I could provide. And so I had to show them, here's how much value I can bring. And so instead of writing 300 words, I wrote 1,500 words, right? 5 times more than what they asked. And then I made a video talking about it. And then I also promoted it to my newsletter list, promoted it to my audience, let people know when that article came up, here it was. And so what happened? As a result of me doing all this work, I was the only one doing it. So when they came to the end of the series, I had my posts that were crushing it, and the 9 other people were doing what was asked, the 300 words, the bare minimum. What is asked of you is the bare minimum. That's your ticket into the door. If you just did what they asked, that's not enough. That's not giving them insane value. And so I was the only one that they hired. 10 of us went in. I was the only one who kept going because I brought them way more value. Now I started charging more for what I was doing. It went from $500 per post to $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000. Kept increasing my prices because I was bringing them the value and they could see it. And so at the very beginning, I was grateful. I was just grateful to get the gig. I was grateful to get my first corporate gig, to get $500, to get a link from the website. I was grateful. I was pumped. I was happy. I was excited. This is the best. But I wanted to make this a business. And you can't have a business on $500 a month. And so I had to ask myself, how do I bring more value? If I want to get paid more, I need to bring more value, and either these guys are going to recognize it or somebody else will. I'm going to give you a 3-step process that you can use to start charging more. Step number 1 is give the baker's dozen. I don't know how common a term this is, but I remember when I was young, growing up at my cottage, we'd always go to this local bake shop and they sold donuts, and they would sell a 12-pack of donuts, but they would add a 13th one in for free, and they called it the baker's dozen. A dozen is supposed to be 12, but they give you a 13th donut for free. So you get your 12 and you can pick one more for free as a bonus, as an extra, as more value. And so you want to think about that in your business as well. Think about all the clients that you're helping. How can you give the baker's dozen? How can you give that one extra donut, that one extra little bit of value? Not of what you want to do, but of what is actually valuable for them, right? In the example of my client, I wrote 5 times as many words. I added a video. I promoted to my newsletter list. Think about being your client's chief goal officer. What are they trying to accomplish? They're hiring you for something, but they also have bigger goals in their life or business. What are they trying to accomplish? And the more you can help them accomplish that thing, the more they're going to love you, the more they're going to refer you, and the more they're going to pay you for helping them out. And so adopt the baker's dozen mentality. You're just assuming that what is on paper is not going to be enough. That's just the entry point. That's the bare minimum. You're always going to add in that extra donut. Step 2, increase your prices by 30%. Just try it. For your next client, increase your prices 30%. A big problem for a lot of entrepreneurs is you're already doing the baker's dozen. You're doing more than the baker's dozen. You're giving insane value. You're spending an incredible amount of time researching, helping, thinking about your client, and you're just not getting paid enough for it. And so your next client that comes in, just try it. 30% more, 30% more, 30% more. And you'll slowly transition to be able to have bigger clients, because only doing work with people who can afford to pay you what you're worth is not how you're going to build a great business. It's honestly better to work with people who can afford to pay you, and then you keep 10% of your clients to be charity cases. That's actually even for free. You don't charge them, it's free. It's your community service. It's your work to give back to the community around you. Amazing, but you can't build your business off of that. Most of your business has to be off of people who are paying you what you're worth. And so the next client that comes in, you summon your courage, you look at your typical price that you would charge, now it's 30% more. And step 3 is start small. I love starting small. I hate having to go into a business and do this giant pitch because it's a 6-figure deal. I hate that. It takes too long. It has to go through too many hands. It has to have too many meetings. It's a committee to make a decision. It just takes too long. The best place to start is small. Just find the smallest deal to get started on. One tiny little thing that you can do for them, and then be the best supplier that they've ever worked with. Be the best supplier that they have ever worked with, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to fight for ways to bring you back in. When I did that deal with the telecommunications company, They loved me so much that they fought for ways to have me come back in. They wanted me to speak at events. They wanted me to interview people for their channel. They were looking for ways, like, can we give this to Evan? Can we have Evan do this? It started off as one throwaway thing. One 300-word article became a 3-year relationship. Something like that is crazy. I want that for you. I don't want you to have to go through crazy big proposals that take 6 months to get a decision. Find one tiny little thing that you can get started off, and then show the value that you bring. And then they're gonna fight over themselves to have you do more work. They'll say, can you do this? Can you do that? We're having a problem here. Can you help out here too? And if it's in your wheelhouse and you say, yes, I'm happy to help. And suddenly you get more and more and more of the entire business without ever having to pitch, without ever having to present, because you're bringing so much value. Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
If you want to watch the top 10 rules for Evan Carmichael, check out the video next to me. I think you can enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
I'm comparing my beginning to their middle or to their end, which is an unfair comparison. They can get there, therefore I can go chase my dreams down as well. That's a kick forward. Most people kick themselves down